Welcome back, guys. Strap in your seatbelts. We have the first Monday market report for the month of June 1st. I guess consider this like the beginning of summer. We usually we usually use Memorial Day weekend as kind of like the dividing point between what is normally a very active coin season, usually from the new year all the way up to this point. It's business as usual. But now we're getting into we're getting into the months where some people, they'll take a step back to enjoy vacations and things like that. Auction companies like Great Collections, who we usually go out to pull information from for things that happen in the modern graded market, they tend to not take their foot off the pedal. We've seen this in recent years, where they're continuing to push the envelope on a lot of just absolutely premium pieces. This week, June 1st, the week ending June 1st, is no exception. It's quite possibly one of the busier weeks I've seen since the beginning of the year. Last week, we featured a show where we talked about 30 coins, one of our biggest Monday market reports on record. We've never covered that many coins. We've gotten close. We've hit like 26, 27. Never have we hit 30. This week, we come in at a very strong 24. Guess what? That number could have grown a whole lot more, but we have to kind of pick and choose our battles here. Which pieces are the more impactful to the market? Which ones haven't we seen? Roosevelt Dimes gaining a lot of just overall attention within the coin community lately. And, there's a few certain things that are driving this force, that is Roosevelt Dimes. Because a year or two ago, it wasn't even on the map of coins that people would consider for any situation, let alone registry sets. Registry sets have been kind of like, puttering along, regardless. But the overall depth of people participating in a Roosevelt registry set compared to Lincoln sets, I mean, we're talking about cavernous, big, huge, night and day comparisons here. So now all of a sudden, over the course of the last 3-4 weeks, we have seen insanely strong performances coming from our favorite little US dime. Could it be the upcoming redesign for 2026? Is that waking up the market? Are other registry set archetypes getting way too expensive, and now people are pulling back and looking at alternatives, that being Roosevelt Dimes? Could be. There's a couple forces that could be at play here, but all we know is that the market for dimes right now is hot off the cuff. And we've seen it here the last few weeks. It's just been insane. So before we get into this list, again, all coins graded. We're going to look at information from greatcollections.com. They end their auctions every Sunday, every week. Usually we'll drop this particular video on a Sunday evening or first thing Monday or anytime during the Monday of the week. And we have it for you here today. First, a quick little shout out to channel sponsor Whatnot. They have been the tried and true force in my daily, I suppose, coin sales. In addition to adding like eBay and a few others in the mix, Whatnot has been the driving force of my e-commerce. And, they're looking for more spirited sellers. And they're also looking for more people to join the platform to kind of check things out, whether it's buying coins or precious metals or currency or any other item that the platform supports. Comic books, sports cards. It's a bunch of stuff. Come join today. We have a pretty big promotion happening all June long and July. And it's going to be massive. We're giving away a huge Garrett AT Pro metal detector, brand new kit with the headphones and the extra search coils. All the great stuff. We gave one of these away last summer. It's been hot. And this summer of 2025 will follow suit. It's going to be hot and blistering like you would not believe. Come join today. You join today using the QR code on screen or any one of the clickable links down below in the description box. or pinned to the comment section of this video, and you could earn yourself $15 off your first item, and it is auto-applied upon your first purchase. Outside of that, get ready for a firestorm of shows. We're going to be doing up to 3-4 shows a week in the spirit of kicking off this big, huge summer gala that Blue Ridge Silverhound has for this time. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Thank you guys again for tuning in. And we got the Wilds and Crazies. Another, centennial coin here. 2009, you guys know the Mint had redesigned their Lincoln cents to help cover the 100-year anniversary of this storied coin. And because of that, it is, bar none, one of the most popular U.S. types out there. The 2009 series has been getting a lot of press lately, a lot more active trading on through various sites. eBay is one of them. Great collections for the higher end chasers. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon. I don't know if you guys have thumbed through your change here lately, but good, wholesome, high quality 2009s, P&D, they're hard to find, which leads me to believe that it's going to be something to watch here in the near future. I could see all sorts of waves of various activities and new records being broken. This one here, the Professional Life, is among the lowest minted out of the entire 4 design series. This one right here grades out Mint State 68 red. Yes, it's for a registry set, and this is the Philadelphia version here. This one selling this weekend for $4,487.49. Again, there are some things that we just cannot explain. A 2009 Lincoln cent that's 16 years old for $4,500. Yeah, there's a lot of explaining here to do. Hopefully I was able to cover it. It's just a bomb. It's just the highest grade example of this coin, and a registry needs it. Next one that we have coming up here is actually surprisingly a coin we don't talk about at the highest states of grade. The 2000 Lincoln Memorial with a wide AM reverse, also affectionately referred to as the FS 901. It's a Cherry Picker's Guide variety. When you get a Favaz Stanton number attributed to your variety, that's kind of a big deal. Now, this particular coin is quite common. What is not so common about it are some of those supremely high-end graded pieces. This one is a Mint State 68 red, and if you think that label's a little funny there, that was actually a 35th anniversary retro label that they had brought back a few years ago. Just as an ode to the original Rattlers, the Gen 1s, I guess you could say. So this one coming in hot right here. We have a sale of $1,143. It's not the highest sale realized for this, but compared to, say, like the 95 DDO, which comes up just about every week, we don't see as many wide AM coins in high grades. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe they just circulated a little bit more. People paid less attention to them. Yeah, you can make the argument it could be any one of those reasons. 90AD, yeah, this one here is just top graded, Mint State 68 plus red. And strangely enough, this is one of the rare instances where you will see PL on a business strike coin. NGC's been doing this for a while, denoting PL on business strike coins that deserve it. You know, there's like Roosevelt dimes, Lincoln cents that they've graded PL. PCGS just jumping aboard within the last year or so. So finding a PL designation on any business strike coin in a PCGS slab is quite rare. This one right here ended up selling for $2,587.50. We also have this 91D, say same versus the first. High grade, this one coming in at just a Mega Mountain Mid-State 69 red, which is the finest grade known for a 91D. And there's not too many dates that end up at this particular pinnacle grade-wise. Usually we see a lot of Mint-State 68s, and that's generally the highest they'll ever get. 69 is quite a special numerical grade, nonetheless. This one right here is selling for $6,412.50. That's damn near 2 ounces of gold realized for just simply a homely 1991D Lincoln cent that probably 2 billion of them were made. You know, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. They made a shit ton of 91Ds and 91Ps back in the day. The early 90s were just they minted these till the wheels fell off, and that is essentially what we have here. Just a whole bunch of these. The next one that we have here, one that we're all very familiar with. Boy, this one is awfully pebbly with the zinc plating blisters, which was very commonplace for most 1980s Lincoln cents after the bronze composition went away due to costs. So this particular one right here is the 84 Lincoln Mem with the doubled die obverse. This is the doubled ear variety. Pretty easy to see. Sometimes you can see with the naked eye if the coin isn't as I guess blistery is what this one is. I know on some examples that they're a lot better to identify, easier to identify without those. This one right here, Mid-State 68 Red, is a pretty tremendous grade for this one. And, might I remind you guys that the 84 FS101 DDO, along with the 83 DDR FS801, are 2 coins that blew up after the pandemic. These things had essentially 2 to 3x their money across the spectrum, from raw, lower grade pieces all the way up to the high-end graded stuff. So, we're kind of like in a very comfortable setting for these coins. A lot of the coins have been consistently hitting certain values across all grades. This one right here, by the way, shelling out $2,428.88 is what it's going to take to own this one. But you could look back historically within the last 12 to 18 months and understand that value right there is along the same lines as what they've been going for. So we're kind of in like a flat pattern on these, but they're still selling very strong at the top. Cool one here, one that we don't talk about too often. It's the 1982D large date. This one is the bronze composition type. All right, so the one that everyone opts. However, this one in a 67 plus red is made and intended for a registry set, and we just don't see too many variants of the 1982 Lincoln cents come out into the marketplace lately, just due to the lack of supply. There's not nearly as many people grading these days, so when one does pop up, it's a little bit of a special occasion of sorts. This one right here ended up selling for $2,185.79. Here's another great date that just doesn't pop up too often. Just a plain old 1970 Philly. This one coming in by PCGS as a Mid-State 67 plus red, earning all of its stripes. This is, of course, coming at an era where 67s and anything higher than that were quite difficult. The pops were really low on these at the top. This one right here, selling for $2,925. It hasn't lost its flavor one bit. It's still a pretty strong secondary market number on these 1960s and early 70s coins. Now we do have a pair of proof coins. The 2 coins we're going to talk about here are only 5 years apart, but the price that you have to cough up to even play on this side of the pool is polarizingly different. Like, for instance, the 1957 proof set in today's, secondary market value can be had for right around $40 to $50, okay, depending on the presentation, how it looks. This particular one right here is really tough to find. It's an issue that just there's plenty of things happening to it where the cameo frost on all of the devices just simply were not there. This one, by the way, has some of that super polished fields that gives it its like deep, dark, black mirrorness to it. This one has the ultimate mix of everything. The little thing that you see on the reverse there is actually on the plastic and not on the coin. It's some sort of like scuff right there. So this one right here, if you were able to discover one of these, a deep cameo, and if you're able to get a 68 red grade on it, congratulations. This is a huge coin. It's life-changing money here at $21,937.50. And the same goes with the 52 here coming up next. You'll notice quality-wise, it looks a little bit different. The previous coin had better frost, smoother fields, This one here, if you had to buy a 52 Pro set, it'll run you back, 3 to 4, 100. So not cheap at all. So you want to make sure that you're cherry picking something nice out of that set, and I guess keeping your mouth shut, because you don't want to let the cat out of the bag at a coin shop and the dealer hear you. That can be kind of tough. Some people just don't have very good poker faces, and when you are a little bit I don't know, boisterous at the time of the sale, that can open up some doors that you don't want. But anyways, getting back to this one, really tough date for Deep Cameo. Might I say that again? This one even graded out the same one at 68 red to that 1957 we just looked at. So that makes this one extraordinary, and the price really does show it at $51,125.49. Just a huge just payoff discrepancy from one coin to the other. It's that insane, and also illustrates the difficulty and the rarity of finding both coins. While they're both rare, one is just exceedingly rare to the point where you're gonna have a better chance looking for a unicorn or Bigfoot. It's that wide and that deep of a cavern. All right, now we're on to nickels. Nickels actually did okay this week. It's always tough to follow up the Lincoln cents because the market is just continuously good every single week. Now we have a 55D. Quite honestly, one of the dates that we all love to hate because they kind of came in just super junky condition. This one right here, not my particular favorite, but it did come back full steps. This one right here, 65 full steps by PCGS, actually means more than it looks on its face, because full steps are virtually non-existent on these. This particular one ended at $1,726.88. For every point of the grade that goes up, this thing you just might as well add a 2x multiplier. So in a 66 full stepper, this one's probably $3,500 to $4,000 pretty easily, and we all know why this coin in this date is just very tough. 46. Now this is not just some run-of-the-mill 1946 Denver. This one is the D over inverted D RPM FS 501 Cherry Pickers Guide variety. I found a few of these, but not nearly at this particular grade level. By the way, NGC touting it as a 66 with 5 full steps. That is quite exciting. This variety is exciting as it's starting to make a little bit more waves on in the variety community. Any overmint mark or any sort of weird variety type of RPM where it's like D over horizontal D or D over inverted D, they're all kind of a big deal. So that first initial punch of the Denver mid mark was upside down. All right, things were not going right then. This one's selling for $1,665. Pretty good sale there. We did come away with a couple really nice silver manganese composition coins from the war. 1945D is a good coin here. PCGS graded this one mid-state 68 full steps. Really pretty example. It's got near perfection, and that's what collectors and registry set owners love. This one is selling for $6,030. That's a pretty big sale. We also had a 44D. PCGS grabbed this one as a mid-state 68 full stepper. The reverse looks almost PL, which is really nice. You got some nice frostiness, some nice texturing on all of the devices. But overall, the coin is a real beautiful specimen. 44D they generally have above average luster compared to some other dates. So this one's a good one here. Also selling in that same realm at $6,187.50. So we had a couple war nickels in the 6,000 club here. 42S in a mid-state 68 plus. Aha, no full steps. And that's pretty obvious looking at this one. But if you like a high grade and you love color, then this one's for you. Again, it's not for everyone, but people who appreciate the artistic wide spectrum of color when it comes to toning will like this one. The wartime silvers, they tone very well, but at the same time there are some that look really junky on that same conversation. So check this out. Without full steps, this is still a big coin. $5,062.50 was the final result on that one. And who would have thought this one came out of left field with that kind of price tag? Here's a 39S, reverse of 38. That is a tough one. So it adopted the old reverse engraving of the steps on Monticello or Monticello right there. NGC gave this one a mid-state 67 plus, 5 full steps. Thank goodness. I mean, it looks the part, and it's a good-looking piece here. This particular one sold for $2,025, and that's all she wrote. Nice tough date, by the way. 39S just does not come out that often to play. This was cool. I found a few of these, but and one I believe was like XF. But here is, ladies and gentlemen, the 1935 Buffalo Nickel FS 801 doubled die obverse. What makes this one even cooler and sweeter is that it's an AU 58. It's not some just big bomb cherry, lustrous mid-state 64 or something to that effect. This is simply an AU 58, a coin that at that grade had seen a little bit of circulation wear. So your best doubling on this one, by the way, is on the words 5 cents on the reverse. You can actually see it very plain and clear. You also have some nice doubling in United States of America. Okay, also another bonus there for that one. This one sold for $4,460.62. Did I mention it's an AU 58? Yeah, I thought maybe I left that out, but that's a pretty big price tag for a coin that some others, it would have to be mid-state 66 for it to sell for that kind of money. Now we're on to dimes. Okay, dimes. I mean, we had our little kind of talk at the entry of this video. 1982, no mint mark. These were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. They all were supposed to have a P mint mark on there. This one does not. It's also got the strong reverse strike on this one as noted on the label. It's QA certified, which is very similar to CAC, but their specialty is moderns. Okay, so this one right here, PCGS assigned a beautiful grade of 67 plus full bands. This is a nice one. Ended up selling for $2,306.25. Here's another huge one here, 1967 Roosevelt dime. It looks proof, but guess what? They didn't make proof coins in 67. You know what they did make? Special mint set, SMS, which have kind of like a really fancy, well-struck business strike look to them normally. So finding one with deep cameo and nice dark mirrored fields, these are virtually impossible to find. So this one is yet again another rarity to pop out on great collections here this year. 67 plus is the grade, deep cameo as you can see on the label. And this one achieved a $2,620.12 final sale. We also have this 42/1 on a rather dark toned Mercury 9 planchet. This one, PCGS assigned an AU 55 overall grade on it. It's not everybody's favorite. I will say that. Me personally, I don't want this kind of like level of toning on there. It's a little off-putting, especially when the big kind of like feature point of this coin is that overdate. But when you have toning that's this dark, that could be obscured by a little bit, and it would turn some people off who really love and collect these varieties. So this one right here is selling for $2,278.12, which is about the average norm for this particular grade of this coin. And finally, for dimes, I mean, it can't be a proper Monday market report without at least talking about one of the big keys. Okay, this week it's the 16D Mercury dime. Okay, we all know the lore and the legend of this coin. They're all expensive, even going all the way down to like AG condition. You're still gonna have to pay $800 to $1,000 for a slabbed AG coin of a 16D. However, this one is a mid-state 64, and it's got the crusty toning that makes it original, but again, it's not my favorite. This is way too dark and terminal for my tastes. So this one right here, not at all surprised. It's a big coin, $21,375, and it's heading to a new home. Okay, this is a strange one. 1964 Washington quarter and 65, it doesn't matter who grades it, should be like a $25 coin. Now, there might be some underlying thing I'm not seeing about this coin. It could be a variety. It could be something. I don't know. Because it's an NGC graded 65. Here's where I have the problem with this one. It ended up selling for $2,934 with all of the question marks flying around, I don't know what sets this one apart from any other regular mid-state 65, 64 quarter. So if you guys see something that I'm missing, is it a DDO? Is it the Type B reverse, the Type C reverse? Let me know. Let me know if you guys see anything specific about this coin that was left off, and make me understand the sold price of it. We don't get those that often, all right? There's usually more justification to the price tag rather than, just a nice looking coin. Okay, we had things off on a few of my favorites. 1930S, Standing Liberty Quarter. This thing is a god level tier kind of piece. PCGS gave a mid-state 67 full head, CAG certified. There's a lot to love here with this one. $10,800 was the finality of this beast. We also had a 29S, okay, 1 year removed, also an NGC mid-state 67 full head, quite attractive. Pretty nice. Standing Liberty quarters have always been my bread and butter as far as what I like. They're just getting very, very wildly expensive these days. $3,712.50 was the final on that one. And the last coin, gotta talk about it. We were looking for a big coin to talk about. Big as far as size is concerned. It's either this or an Ike dollar. 1964 candy half dollar proof. Accented hair. So it's got the extra engraved hair lines right above Kennedy's ear. Man, this thing is stunning. It's a Proof 69 cameo. There is a Proof 69 deep cameo, which is worth a ton of money. This one is no slouch, however. You can see some of the weakness of the frost, not only on Kennedy's bust, right around the jawline area, but also on the reverse. If you look on the shield on that heraldic eagle, it looks like it's missing a little frost as well. Fortunately, PCGS did give him a cameo designation, and how could you not with those dark black mirrored fields? This one ended up selling for a small sum of $6,869.25. Such a great way to end a Monday market report on your Monday. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this one. Okay, real quick. Information in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Please collect and or grade your coins responsibly as normal. Enjoy the hobby. Most importantly, that's where you're going to get all of the satisfaction and fun out of it before you go into making money and really monetizing off of this hobby that we all love. So that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy today's content. And, whatnot this week. We're going to be on like 4 times. It's going to be a very busy week as people are building up entries for the end of the summer giveaway event, which is sponsored by YouTube. It's going to be awesome. So thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great week. Enjoy this hobby, and hope to see you soon on the next video.